action figure fiend, Patrick Sparrow. I'm recording this video while my wife's in the shower because I don't want her to see me recording embarrassing toy videos in our living room. I just want you, the whole internet, to see. Today is Saturday, and we're going to go out for a quick, nice birthday lunch in London, and we might hit up a comic or toy store or two, so maybe we'll find something cool. Guess we'll see. I don't know. Bye. Say bye, Nova. Bye. Say bye, Nova. Bye. Oh, is your tail wagging? Your tail's wagging. You're excited. Bye, Nova. Say hi. Oh, you look excited.
$304 for Pig Face.
That's Bebop. He's from the Ninja Turtles too.
Yeah.
That's Bebop.
Yeah, ain't no way.
B-boy.
Hot things fall visible. That are warm, like the top of the stove.
Hey everybody, it's your pal, Patrick Sparrow, action figure fiend, on that there funky internet machine, coming at you with some quick reviews of some quick items I got this weekend. So, what did we do exactly? So, we went and checked out London, Ontario. We went to the Early Bird restaurant, which was fantastic. My wife and mother-in-law were nice enough to treat me to a big nerdy day out, so that was a lot of fun to do that. Early Birds are got a really cool aesthetic to the place, just like all the gig posters of bands that I love, and just a cool rockabilly sort of punk rock look that place has. And just, even apart from that, if the place didn't look cool, they have incredible food, which that would be, you know, an awesome place even if they had garbage food, just because the place looks so cool. And they have like busts of Elvis painted like members of Kiss and like skulls everywhere. It's pretty neat. I'll post some pictures of it here. But after we went there, we went to Heroes in London, which is a pretty sweet comic book and collectible shop. I've never been there before. It was 2 levels, just absolutely huge. There's a little bit of footage filmed in this video for there, but I didn't film too much because it was really huge, really packed, and it got pretty crowded as I was going through the place, so I didn't want to be elbowing people with my camera here and getting in the way of anybody, so I just got a few seconds and then figured I'd slide it on. But here's a quick look at a couple things that I got from there. So I didn't go too nuts, you know. I really could have because they had so much in there, but I tried to be a little bit more frugal because I'm going to go to the States later on this month. But first thing I got here is 2011 NECA Terminator, which is really cool because he's one of the ones that's Arnold from the first 1984 Terminator, not Terminator 2. Like, when the toy line from Kenner came out in the 90s, it was all revolving around Terminator 2, which is totally cool. Just awesome to have an R-rated movie with kids, you know, having action figures targeted towards them from the movie. But this one is one of the few figures that's actually based off of the first film from any toy company. So you see Arnie in his jacket there. It's cool. I just got him loose out of the box. He didn't come with accessories or anything. This accessory here, I dug through my toy bin. He's borrowing this from the Punisher right now. But it looked good with him. The scale fits, and the paint apps fit. And it looks nice. I'll try to find some more screen-accurate images later on if I can. Like, he comes with a pump-action shotgun and a handgun and a couple other types of weapons. So if I could find those, that'd be great. But this one looks great. If I didn't tell you it didn't come with it, you probably wouldn't have known. So, but yeah, he's from NECA, 2011. Pretty limited range of articulation. Like, what do we have here? A little bit of a swivel in the hands, a little bit of a pivot in the arms. Got a rotation in the shoulders. And the legs, there's absolutely nothing. It's just one molded piece. Do we have a shoulder or waist swivel? Yeah, we do. And we have a head swivel here. I think this is actually one of the two heads that the toy came with. It comes with an alternate head that isn't battle damaged. But, you know, as I said, this one didn't come with the accessories or alternate head. It just came with this one battle damage head. But that's cool because that's the better head that I would have displayed it with anyways. But yeah, he looks pretty crispy clean, very nice, and you know, he was only $6. So I'm a big Terminator fan. I have a shelf full of Terminator toys at home, mostly from the Kenner days. And I'm just stoked to add this one to my collection, as I don't have any, you know, first 1984 Terminator action figures in my collection. So that'll be 2011 NECA Terminator. Okay, the other item that I got from Heroes is this big boy. Bam! He's pretty sweet looking. So originally when I got this, I thought that he was the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure that came out from a couple years ago. This is the Hulk villain Abomination. So, if you're not familiar with him, he's basically same sort of story as Hulk. How many superheroes have a supervillain that mirrors their powers. This guy is the guy that mirrors the Hulk's powers. He was poisoned by gamma radiation, but instead of turning out like the Hulk, he turned out like Abomination, so he's got a little bit of a more like monstrous appearance to him, making him a little bit more, you know, villain-like, a little bit more monster-like than the Hulk. But he's cool. As I said, I thought this was the Marvel Legends Hasbro Build-A-Figure, because he's huge. He's very big. But then, upon researching it, I realized that this is actually the 2006 Toy Biz version of Abomination. I'll throw up a quick side-by-side comparison. So there you see a quick side-by-side of Abomination Build-A-Figure and the Abomination Toy Biz figure. So they're pretty much the same size when it comes to scale and height. But I gotta say, I think this one wins out over paint. And yeah, if you see there, I'm not sure if you can see, but there's this cool gray-black wash over top of all the muscles. It gives them this nice sort of like shaded depth. And the face definitely seems a lot more detailed. Yeah, I like this just a lot more overall than the Hasbro Build-A-Figure. You know, this is the back in the day when Toy Biz had, you know, great paint, great sculpts, great attention to detail, and this wasn't a Build-A-Figure, this was just a regular figure in the line. So this was the size of some of the bigger bads in the line. The Build-A-Figures were like twice the size of this, so it was awesome. But this guy looks really cool. This is one of two versions that came with different heads. So this one has like a clenched mouth, closed tooth snarl. There was another one that had like an open mouth, sort of like a roar. But I gotta say, I think this guy looks really good. Like, I'd be hard-pressed to find a better Abomination figure than this guy. So there's this guy, and then there's the Marvel Legends Hasbro one. But then you also have the Diamond Select one, which is probably about an inch and a half taller than this guy. And if you could believe it, he's even wider. It's definitely like one of the heaviest, biggest Diamond Select figures, which is just crazy. But I think this one wins out over both of them, just because he's bulky and he's big, but he's not obscenely bulky and big. Like, that Diamond Select one is just way too chunky for my liking. And I like chunky, big action figures, but this Diamond Select one's just bonkers. But this guy's cool. The only complaint that I might possibly have about this guy is I don't really like the way this sort of ball joint looks here on the hip. Hasbro and Diamond Select, they definitely do a good job of sort of sculpting and hiding joints. Toy Biz didn't, especially in the female figures. The female figures are pretty terrible for the most part. And this is just sort of weird how it's just this painted, gray, totally unsculpted, just ball of a joint. Like, if you really look and you notice it, sometimes you're just going to keep on noticing it when you look at the figure. So that's a little weak on Toy Biz part, but still a really good looking figure overall. Really nice and detailed, nicely sculpted, nice paint applications. Just that little ball joint there is a little bit of a bugger. But hey, what can you do? Okay, and my last find today I was pretty stoked on. I went and checked out EB Games after checking out Walmart. Walmart had a lot of cool stuff, but nothing that I really wanted to pay, you know, $30 on. Anytime I try to get Legends, I try to get them on sale. But yeah, this is what I picked up at EB Games, which I was looking for, which was really awesome to find. And that is the Funko Savage World Thundercats Lino action figure. So he looks pretty sweet in the box. This is that line from Funko, which is the 5.5-inch line inspired by Masters of the Universe style action figures. You can see he's very bulky and wide. He's got that sort of squat stance that was standard for He-Man figures in the 80s. And now they're sort of reviving that aesthetic to apply to other toy licenses from Funko in 2018, which I gotta say, there's a lot coming out that I'm not really too nuts for, like the Savage World He-Man style horror figures that they have. So you have Pinhead in like a Motu style, or Freddy Krueger in a Motu style. It's a really great idea, and they look really good, but you know, things like that I won't be collecting. Same with like the DC Primal Age Batman, so it's like Barbarian Batman in the same sort of squat stance and wide stature. I won't be bothering collecting that just because it doesn't feel like it totally fits in with the 80s aesthetic and vibe of these toys. So there you can see Wave 2, which is coming. What do we got? We got Jackalman, Monacan, Chitara, and Tigra. And then you can see the first wave there, Lino, Panthro, Mumra, and Slythe. Now, they only had this one Lino figure there at EB Games. They're slowly starting to roll out the line here in Canada. I know in the States, at GameStop, they've just all been hitting Wave 1 all at once, so a lot of people have been able to pick them up. And they've been able to pick them up at really good price points. Like most of the places, they have these priced for $12 to $15 a figure, which is great because if you want to buy vintage He-Man or Thundercats figures, you know, you'll get them loose, beat up, not on card, no action features working, no accessories, and they'll cost like double what these cost. But these are nice, fresh, minty in the box with accessories. They look great. They feel like they're something straight out of the 80s. So yeah, you can get all 4 of them at GameStop in the States, but in Canada, they only just have Lino right now in select ones. Hopefully, they'll soon have Panthro, Mumra, and Slythe. It might be one of those things where they're just sort of testing out the fandom for it, seeing if Lino sells, then they'll roll out Mumra and some other ones, because that's what happens a lot of the time with EB Games in the States. For the Canadian releases, it's a lot more limited and takes a lot longer, which is unfortunate because I follow so many other toy YouTubers that just find cool stuff all the time that we just don't get here. And if we do get it, it's not in a timely fashion, and we don't get all the characters in the wave, which is crazy. It's the same with Marvel Legends. So, but yeah, I'm going to go to the States later on this month for a comic show in Portland. So hopefully, Cleveland rather. I'll be in Cleveland doing a little bit of toy hunting, so hopefully I'll be able to find the rest of this wave there. So I'm going to pop them open, and we'll have a look at Lino. This blister card peels right off the back there. I am not a carded collector, so this is all going in the trash. Here we go. Let's have a look at him there. Nice. Nice, just bulky, beefy figure. That's one improvement here on this line as opposed to the Motu figures from the 80s, is they don't have that rubber band, you know, articulation in the legs. So it's just on a ball joint. So it'll swivel back and forth, it'll bend out and in, and it won't wear or break because it's plastic and not rubber. Rubber just totally degrades over time. The legs go to jelly. A nice swivel in the arms here, swivel in the head. So your classic 5.5 figure with your 5 points of articulation. Oh, I'm sorry, 6 points of articulation. There's actually swivel in the waist. So very, very cool. Very nice paint application, very nice colors. Very nice, beefy, muscular sculpt. So let's have a look at his accessories that he comes with. Whoop. So he comes with his claw hand and his trademark sword. Oh, this sword is pretty substantial. A nice sculpt on the sword. Nice little Thundercats symbol there on the tang. Nice paint application there. It's just one piece of like metallic molded plastic and that one little paint application there. But it looks good. And then we have the glove. Same thing, it's molded in just the one style of plastic with just the one minimal paint app there on the knuckles with the jewels, but it looks really nice. So let's see. I've heard that these are sort of a hard thing to work into the hand. Yeah, and they are. Yep, so the hand's really tight and the handle for the sword is really wide, so you gotta sort of work it into place there a little bit. But it fits and holds it really well. So that's nice. You can be waving this guy around doing battle with Mumra and his sword's not going to fall out of his hand. So it looks really good. It's going to stay in there really good. And this just clips over top of his other hand. Oh, there we go. That fits like a glove, you'd say. Because it is a glove. But it looks really good. It fits really good. That is just a nice overall figure. This is one of those toys that this aesthetic really works for this, since it is actually an 80s property, unlike those DC Primal Age figures. I'll be really happy to collect these and display them with my vintage and non-vintage He-Man, because it just works, you know. A lot of times, kids, you know, you do battle with your He-Man and Mumra or Skeletor and Lino, because the aesthetic of them just fits with one another, right? From the 80s, the vintage line. All kids had those toys, and all kids would just, you know, do the interplay with them. But it's cool to see this guy in this style, so it'll scale with He-Man, because these figures were always a little bit taller and chunkier than the He-Man figures, which was cool to set them apart, but it's also kind of cool to see them with this like uniform style. They fit together, because those are two toy properties that really, you know, blend well together. You know, it's like Coke and Pepsi, you know, He-Man and Thundercats. It just really works well together. So it's awesome. So here they are. This is my whole haul for the weekend all together. We got Marvel Legends Abomination, Funko Savage World Thundercats Lino, and we got 2011 NECA Terminator. So nice little haul. Tried not to go too crazy. I mean, I probably would have gone way crazier if I found out that they had the rest of this wave in EB Games, but what are you going to do? Really, it's a sweet haul overall, though, and it's just been a really fun time going out and collecting these guys and shooting some footage. So hopefully you guys dig it. Subscribe underneath. It's cool to see a couple plays and a couple followers already. You know, eventually this channel will grow and get a little bit more momentum and a little bit more video quality as we go on. Hopefully a little bit more production quality once I actually figure out, you know, the editing software and what to do with it. But thanks so much for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. Really always fun to just be a part of this toy community and share, you know, your hunts and see what you find and see what other people find too, because it's always cool to watch people's videos, and it's like you're finding treasure when you're watching them find treasure too, because, you know, it's just a cool community. So thanks so much, guys. This has been Action Figure Fiend Patrick Sparrow, and yeah, have a good one. See you in the next video. Bye, guys.